Well, here we are to talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Is it worth watching? Well, let me start off by saying that you're going to have to take this one with the context that I am a huge Mandalorian fan. This is my favorite property in Star Wars is the Mandalorian, so take it as that. And even though I love the original trilogy, I grew up with the original trilogy, and I love them. It's Mandalorian and the original trilogy. That's how it kind of goes for me. That I'm not an old Star Wars head in the sense that they kind of are everything to me, and it's hard to live up to them and that kind of thing. So if you're kind of one of those Star Wars fans, which I appreciate, I have no problem with that at all. If you hate all the new Star Wars properties and it's just the original, that's cool too, whatever. But I'm not that guy. I love the originals, but for me, my favorite is the Mandalorian. So I'm not long back from it, and what a wonderful, fun adventure movie this is. This did not disappoint me at all. You're going to hear a lot of the critics talk about it being a long episode. That's what it feels like. It's just like a long episode of the show. And yeah, they're right. That's kind of what it felt like to me too. I thought it was like a long episode of the show, but I didn't see that being a problem because the show is really good, and the show was designed to be more like a movie in the first place, right? It's not like, you're sitting down watching an episode of Law and Order. It's not that. And yeah, it is, but it's an adventure. That's what I'm guessing they designed it to be. What it is what they designed it to be, is an adventure movie. And because I guess I've heard some of the pundits talk this way, some of the reviewers and stuff, and I get it from their point of view that Star Wars in the cinema should be some big epic thing, but I don't agree with that. I agree they should have epic movies, right? We definitely need to move on from the Rise of Skywalker, because damn, we really have to move on from that. But till their big episodic movie comes out, like, I'm okay with just adventure movies that don't have to save the galaxy. In fact, I would rather there was less of that, because less of that means it's more impactful when you watch a big the next episode. That's for me, that's an Avengers movie. And when everyone's together and they all have to save the universe, the world, the whatever, just take on the Empire, that should be more like an Avengers movie. But in the MCU, we don't have Avengers movies every time. We have an Avengers movie, and then we have character driven movies, and we just have smaller movies, and that's the way it should be. That's how you build the universe. But I know the older Star Wars people and the people that love the trilogy, they are desperate for a new trilogy of movies that are good, because the last three were so bad. And I personally don't hate the last three like that. I think the Rise of Skywalker is just an embarrassment in a sense, but I liked the others. I particularly liked Kylo Ren. He was one of my favorite characters of all time in Star Wars, just because he was interesting. The acting was good, and but I know the stories around them weren't brilliant. So that is where I'm coming from. So when I see the Mandalorian, and I know, okay, it's like the Solo movie. It's an adventure movie that's happening within the Star Wars universe. I can take it for that, and I can enjoy it a lot. I'm also a fan of Grogu. Maybe some people, I don't know, maybe if you're older, you're not a fan of Grogu and it's more for kids. I don't know, but I like Grogu in this, and you have to, when going in, be okay with Grogu. You really do, because he has a lot of screen time in it, and he even has his own little adventure. And there's a part of the movie that slows down, and it's just him and Mando, and you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with Grogu. I love Grogu. I love Mando and Grogu together. I personally wouldn't like to see Mando go off and do like a movie on his own without Grogu. They got to be together. They're a team. And yeah, it's adventure. It's adventure from start to the end. It isn't a big story that's saving the universe. It's just them guys on another, bounty hunting mission that goes sideways that they got to sort out, and that's what it is. So in this one we have the Huts, and that's, if you've seen the trailer, it's about the Huts. I won't give anything away, but I gotta say the CGI was much better in this. If you remember when they brought in Jabba the Hutt in that in the original trilogy for that scene where Han Solo was talking to him at the Millennium Falcon, where they done the CGI thing, it was like incredibly bad. Like, I really wish they never did that. But in this, it worked really well. You got a Hutt that's pretty jacked, pretty ripped in this one, so that was interesting. And we got to see some crazy monster action, as you always do, and we got to see Mando do his thing, obviously, fights here and there, really good. We got to see some battles with ships. I'm not going to try not to give anything away. The only thing it was really missing, I guess, was an actual spaceship battle, right? You didn't have a whole lot of that. You didn't have any of that. And did I miss it? Kind of, but I only noticed at the end. So that really, if you're hoping for like maybe in space to have a big battle of sorts, no. And I don't think they should just add it into a movie for the sake of it, but I do really, really like that in Star Wars, is having a battle in space, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. But you got to have a few ships, not just like two ships, and you need that laser fire in space, and I do like that. I wish that was in it, but I didn't really miss it per se. So you got the different, the different. It's always Star Wars. Always seems to me like you're going to be on an ice planet, a desert planet, a jungle planet, and then there's a planet with cities, and that's kind of it. Which I suppose, what else can there be? But I would like a little bit more imagination in the creation of the worlds sometimes, just a little bit. But I suppose, what can you do, I don't think we're in the desert for this one, so that's something. Yeah, I don't think there was a desert scene in this one. But who was in it was those little dudes. I don't actually know what they're called. The little dudes with the beards, you see them in the trailer, and they're with Grogu in it, and they are brilliant. I really love them. I hope to see more of them in the future, and truthfully, I hope this does well, and they either do a new series of Mando in the future, or they keep doing movies. I would like to see them keep doing movies of Mando and Grogu. I think because where they are on the timeline, I know they could do more movies, and I hope they do. And I hope they're just regular adventures, and if there is they do some big epic movie and they're bringing all these people together to fight the Empire again, which I'll be honest, sweet Lord, if there's another Empire and they have to fight another Empire, I'm going to cry. But if they do, I hope, or I like Mando being in it, but if I was to choose, just go on adventure movies. More adventure movies, more parts of the galaxy that we haven't seen. And I've found that with Mandalorian as well, that it was a great show for showing us around the galaxy and showing us other parts of the other worlds out there, other characters, other ways of life and all that. I know Rogue One was brilliant for that. I loved the Skeleton Crew, which is another, I think, really good show. It showed us other sides, other places, other people, other things going on other than Jedis and empires and rebels and Jedis and Siths, which are all well and good, but oh, my goodness, we have to move on. We really have to move on. And I don't mean in the sense to get rid of them. Absolutely not. I like Jedis and I like all of that. Just I want Star Wars to move forward. Now, I know Mandalorian is backed away, but when they do move forward, I want them to move forward from that. I don't mind Jedi's being in it, but not to be the central thing. I want the story and the adventure to be the main part of Star Wars, not having to fight an empire all the time. You can make other stories. It doesn't have to be Jedis and Siths. We can have rogue ones out there that are part of a story, but that's not the central story. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. Look, go see it. If you just love adventure and you love The Mandalorian, I don't see how you can complain too much. If you're an old Star Wars head and the new stuff doesn't really do your thing, I don't think this is going to help you out. But, stream it when it comes out. And that's it. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you enjoy it. Grab your popcorn, grab your Coke. Go and support your local cinemas. And if you're not going to go to Star Wars because you're like, no, I love the originals, I hate the new stuff, it's all rubbish, go see Obsession. It looks great. I'm going to see that tomorrow night. Go see something and support your cinema and get out there and have fun. And I'll see you all next time.